Hey everyone out there in Facebook world. This is Barbara Horde, host of I Am This Woman, coming back to you another Friday. Super excited always to be here. So grateful for all of the comments, all of the messages, all of the support that I've received for this. And I'm excited to say we have almost 4 months of guests. And you know, the thing about it is that I would say to you this. If you're out there, you have a message to share, you have something that you believe in, that you think is so important, reach out to me. You can email me at barbara@iamthiswoman.com or just send me a message here on Facebook Messenger. But I can tell you this, for years I've been sitting back and I've been holding back on who I am, what I'm up to, what am I doing. And this here is so much me, and it just brings joy to my life. It really does. And I hope it inspires and empowers you. And over the next few months, as we continue to grow and new things are happening, I hope that you will see how beneficial this can be when you step into who you are. So I want to kind of tell you this, because if you're asking, what is this I Am This Woman? And I wrote it down, and I read it here because I want to become, it's like part of my soul, right? And one of the things is I says, encourage a woman, right, to see their truth, their vision, and their greatness, encouraging them to decide, engage, and create. And there is something within you. There's this dream, this message, this story, this vision. This is your opportunity to step into it and for you to have the life you say that you want. So I want to talk to you about my guest today, which I am so excited. You know, sometimes you meet people and they come into your life and you think, where have you been? We were separated at birth and now here you are. And for my guest today is Melissa Kehoe. And I would say I had the honor of meeting her maybe about 1.5 years ago. We went through a class called the Achievers Academy. And we connected, and we have not stopped connecting. And she is one of the women, like in my tribe. She is a woman that I can call up. She will love me up, and then she will shake me down. And that's the kind of women that you need. And really the ones who say, I see you, I see your greatness. And if I have to kind of kick you in the butt to make it happen, then guess what? I'll do that. And Melissa's here today to talk about self-discovery, transformation training, but more importantly, discovering the who we are. So let's welcome Melissa. Yay!
Thank you.
So excited that you're here.
I'm excited to be here.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's so great because I think, here's the thing about it, is that we connected.
Immediately.
And you are so inspiring to me.
Oh, God bless you.
But you're more inspiring to me. I know you're working on self-discovery. I know you're working on transformation, but your family, like every time I see your family holiday pictures or something, I'm like, adopt me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
you're in, girl. Just show up at the holidays.
I will. I'm going to the Kehoes for the holidays. But you are such this matriarch of your family.
Thank you.
You know, and you create that. So before we even get started on all the rest of it, I know how I grew up, and my mom was not around, you know, and then I was blessed to have my stepmom come in later, much later in life. But tell me, why is that family part so important to you?
That's a really good question, and I think you said your stepmom came in later in life. I think that God sends us the people we need for the purpose we need, for the length of time we need, for the lessons we need. And some stay, like the old saying goes, you know, a short time. Some come and go. And some stay a lifetime. You know, you and I were one of those lifetime people, like you said. We definitely were separated at birth.
Yeah.
I just adore you and want to see this succeed, because there are so many women that have the same thoughts, you know, that we do. Family to me has, I think, been my key primary question. You know, how do I do this better? I think every set of parents want more for their children than they had. I was raised by a great aunt, a great uncle, and a great grandmother. And I can't tell you, you know, instead of the sensation of abandonment or the sensation, you know, of the other side of the story, these people were absolutely remarkable people, and I wouldn't be who I am today without them. You wouldn't be who you are without not having your mom around and having your stepmom show up later in life. And I wanted to be there, like my great aunt and great grandmother were there for me. I wanted to be there for my family. And I knew my siblings growing up, because my great grandmother would pack us up and we'd go out to the big house on Cherry Street, and she would set my mother back up for success, and we'd be there maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3, maybe 4. My mother was always sickly. And then we'd go home. So I knew my siblings. I just didn't get to be with them a lot. And I think being together is it. Come home for the holidays, because it is all there, all the time, every day. There's food and fun, and love and controversy and conversation and dreams and ideas, and they mimic and mock me a little bit about what I did when they were growing up. But thanks for asking that question. It is my primary.
Yeah, it is, and it's so beautiful, because I think how your children show up, how your kids show up, all of that, it is such a testament to who you are, And I love that. And when I was growing up, one of my favorite soap operas was As the World Turns. And there were the Hughes family. And I always wanted to go to their house for Thanksgiving. and I'm grateful. My family has the most amazing Thanksgiving. We have so much fun, and we dance and we eat, and it's great. But I swear, every time I see your family, and I'm thinking, they're the Hughes.
Maybe we should show up at your house.
Yes, you should. Oh my gosh, you would love it. Lots of food. It's really good and amazing. Lots of love. So, really talking about, because when we talked about this, and one of the things you said is that one of the things that I always do is I talk to any of my guests beforehand. I really want to get an understanding of what is the message that you want to share. And, you talked about self-discovery, transformation trainings. And then you said, but more importantly, discovering who we are. So let's explain that.
One of the things, Barbara and I both had the advantage at different times of going through a program down here in South Florida called Gratitude, through all 3 parts. And it was transformational. It took my daughter a year to talk me into that, because at age 58, I had shared with her, I'd taken classes and workshops and weekend retreats and lectures and spiritual growth and career and professional growth. If enlightenment could have been purchased, I would have owned it. It's one of my favorite sayings. And I just didn't see, I'd retired, I just didn't see value in, growing anymore. A year later, I finally relented and agreed to go. And it was absolutely mind-blowing. I had Chris DeSantis in part 1, who heightens your curiosity until you want to get on whatever ship he's sailing, because you want to be out in the sea wherever he's going. And then Francine Ray, who did our part 2, just blows your ship out of the water, and your mind is blown, and every emotion you've ever felt as a child or a young adult or an adult comes to the surface. And it was absolutely amazing. And then ML, Rubber Meets the Road. However, you're done with this, and this has been an absolutely amazing experience, and it wasn't sustainable.
Right.
All of the 58 years of patterning were still there.
It comes right back in.
All the fear, all of the questioning, all of the, am I capable of doing this? Do I have one more big project to give the world in me? Am I kidding myself? And then I met you at the Achievers Academy, and that is where we discovered Charles Schwartz, who wrote the book, Who Changes Everything, Wall Street bestseller.
Just in case, if you need a book, if you're looking for something, Charles Schwartz is the one that you definitely want to read his book, but also go to Instagram, right? And look him up. And I've been sending him people left and right, because Charles is the real deal. And we call him Charlie, because I can't even say Charles, it's so weird. But Charlie is the real deal. And what I absolutely love about him is, like, he's brilliant.
He's brilliant, off the charts brilliant, there's no doubt. And he's a strategist. And the Achievers Academy was an 8-week experiment in what he calls the herd. He traditionally does not coach our socioeconomic group. He doesn't.
Right.
He coaches the ultra wealthy and the military. And so we were a grand experiment at the Achievers Academy. And since then, the last 14 months, my husband and I have been coaching with Charlie and discovering our who, our personas that show up in the world. And you talked about family a little earlier, and let me shine a little bit there. They are the most incredible human beings that I am privileged to call their mother. But Charlie has solidified and given us, I think, the groundwork for sustainability. I have sat down to write my book 6 times, and what comes out is that the transformational journey that specifically our whole life, but specifically the last few years with Gratitude and the Achievers Academy, and I'm doing a project, Mastermind with Think and Grow Rich, that is mind-blowing. It's our 6th read-through of the book, using the book as a treasure map for our future. Transformation, isn't a beautiful thing. It's brutal.
And let's really talk about that, because I think what happens is that we go through this transformation, we fall in love, it's amazing, we're lovely, oh my gosh, it's so great, and then the time goes and it's over, right?
Yeah.
And you're in the middle of it, and it is brutal, and then you come out of it, and you're like, you have all this awareness, but it is like kicking your butt, and it is. So please, I love the fact, like, you being honest about it. Yes, go through transformation. I think we both agree that it's something worthwhile.
It's absolutely, I think, imperative, and have, you level up to what you know when you know what's going on. You know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know.
What you don't know.
However, stepping back, I would have done nothing different. I have no regrets in life. I have incredible children. I have the most amazing husband on the face of the planet. Life is really good at the end of the day, in spite of all the challenges, that come in, and all the phone calls, and you still worry about your kids, and I have 5 grandkids now, so that doesn't change. But at the end of the day, it's still a really great life. And I think that transformation is an ongoing thing. People keep saying, we're seeking outside of ourselves. No, we're seeking inside of ourselves to reveal the true who's, that we are. And Barbara and I have been up close and personal with the who's. With the who's,
Yeah, for
our
sure.
lowest personas that say, get the ice cream and the spoon because we're going to have a conversation. And the high level personas that are sitting here today, impressive. I came on. I volunteered so fast because I knew you would fill up really quickly, because I wanted to be in this energy of what you're creating on this, I am this woman. Because I am this woman.
Yes.
And I'm not sure I have a great message or a big mission yet. I have a couple missions on my heart I want to do before I retire. But I think it's really important for all of the women in my life, and I'm usually the oldest in our circle of women that are running around. Not that I know more, just I've seen and lived a little longer. I think it's really important that you embrace filling your own cup, discovering your own inner self. It's wonderful to want to give to the world. It's wonderful to want to create things to stand in service. But I think filling your own cup, as Charlie puts it, first is the most key critical, because then you get to lead from the front.
Yeah.
You led from the front in the Achievers Academy. That's why we called you Queen. And you're leading from the front now as an example. And you do that because you fill your cup every day.
Yeah.
I saw your eyes light up when we went live.
Oh.
It does fill your soul.
It does. And I think what really speaks to me with this, and I love you said that, because one of the things that I've taught women is that you do have this cup, right? And what's really interesting, though, a lot of times you have basically like these holes, but you expect all these other people to fill your cup, and that won't happen. The cup filling is like you can come on here and you can tell me all these beautiful things, and it can give me trickles, but I had to repair my cup. I had to repair the holes, right? And then when it poured in, and now what's happened is it's poured in, but now it's pouring out so that I share with others.
Yeah.
And I think that that's powerful. So it's interesting because when you wrote, you talked to me about explaining the who, and you had sent me this information about the who that keeps you safe, moves you forward, creates mayhem, and causes dreams to come true. And then the who we create to master them all, and the sustainability of living in the authenticity of an ever-moving target, which is our truth.
I used to think that truth was an absolutely solid target, and that is not the truth. I mean, as a society, I heard Dr. Preston McKeever Floyd speak a couple of weeks ago. He was a professor down at the Carolina Coast University in theology. And he said, one of the truths that we used to Adam, it was absolutely the truth. Everybody knew it was that the world was flat. And if you study history, it's preposterous. But that was the truth that they thought.
They were going to fall off at the end.
They were going to fall off at the end. When the facts shift, and we were talking about this a little earlier, when the facts shift, truth moves. And in our lives, the more we're open to becoming that persona, that person that we envision in our dreams, the one that maybe we hold back a little bit because we'll be too preposterous, or we consider what other people might think. I gave up on that. I don't really care what other people think anymore.
I gave up on it when I decided to do a talk show. I'm like, I'm going to do a show.
You cannot care what other people think. You really can't. You can live life in contrast, but not in comparison. For you.
Yeah.
And leading from the front. But the facts changed and the truth changed. And every day the facts shift. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about political or religious or socioeconomic or all of this stuff that we're doing, here every day. But the core truths that move our marker every day. And it's a moving target. And every day counts. There isn't one day, Charlie talks about playing all in. That's what my bracelet says, play all in today, tomorrow, forever. Is that, I said, Charlie, I'm exhausted. He's like, you need a day off. And I'm like, how do I want to play all in? He goes, then play all in on your day off.
Right.
Give it all. If you want to stay in your pajamas and watch movies back to back to back, do it.
Yeah.
If you want to go lay at the beach all day, play that hard.
Right.
Lay on that beach,
right.
Have the
and don't feel guilty about it.
Guilty about it.
We, and especially as women, oh my gosh. I was over at my best friend's house and I was talking to her daughter and she calls me Auntie Barbara and she's like, oh my gosh, you do so much. And I do. But boy, when I play with the best of them. I do, and I enjoy the moments, and I'm the biggest kid, and I think that that's important, and it's okay to do that.
Absolutely. To find the joy in every day. The moments that sustain us are not the details. And we all have the details. We all have to pump the gas and do the laundry and pick up our house and do the errands and everything that it takes to make the day happen. But finding the joy, like right now, sitting, I know I'm not supposed to be looking, but out of the corner of my eyes, I see those golf carts going back.
Yeah, I live on a golf course, so the golf course are coming, the carts are coming back. Isn't it cool though? But it's
awesome.
It's so neat. And I fought tooth and nail not to move to Boynton Beach. And when I say I fought tooth and nail, and I always say this, God said, oh, Barbara, you mean you thought you were in charge? He literally moved everything else out of my way so that this is it. And now when you walked in, you're like, this is really lovely. It's so nice. Lovely. It is. And I'm joyful. But I have to tell you, it's so interesting how much we fight being our truth.
There you go. And that's the key. We are our own worst resistance. And I think once you give up, and we were taught as children to run from fear. We were taught to flee fear, not to stand in front of the bullet. And once you decide that the who you are is not going to be afraid, and you run towards that fear, Charlie coaches hard on this for everybody that I've talked to. Once you run towards that fear, and it dissipates on the other side of that is freedom.
Right.
And so everything that I have resistance. So how do you know what you're afraid of? Everything I resist. Everything I resist, I really stop and take a breath and go, what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
And turn and run towards that fear. And again, the truth moves. Sometimes it's for us, and sometimes something else, another opportunity opens up that we never even saw coming.
Right.
And isn't it funny? Your heart desired this. I mean, you're in a comfortable place doing absolutely what you love to do.
Right.
And as soon as your heart speaks, universe delivers.
Yes.
God wants what you want. And we still fight.
We fight. Oh my gosh. This is my third show, and like I said, I've got almost 4 months worth of guests, and I have special guests. And what I love is I have reoccurring guests that are going to be coming on that you guys are going to die. It's so cool. But what I love about this is that my second show, I got up in the morning on my second show, I laid in the bed and I went, what am I thinking that I'm doing? Who am I to do this? This show, I was just like, Melissa's coming over, we're going to sit and talk, it's going to be great, everything is wonderful. But it really is. It is stepping into my truth, and it's this way. You see all the greatness in me. You see Queen.
Yes, I do.
You don't even call me Barbara. She literally calls me Queen.
I call her Queen.
Right? You see that. It took me forever. Charlie sees that, and that's the thing about it. There's so many people, but what I love is that you said something. The word that I've chosen for the next 3 years is freedom. So when you said everything, that fear, that what's on the other side is freedom, I sat here, I almost wanted to jump up because I was like, I forgot that. I forgot it. And I was like, freedom is so powerful. And you were talking about when you heard Dr. Floyd speak, and what you wrote is we are all looking for things, and I love it, to live well, and to live better.
To live, and that's what one of the things that he had read in a white paper he had discovered. He is very global. I love hearing him speak. It was just absolutely amazing. But you would think that people would want other things, but truly he said people want to live, to take breath, to just live. And secondly, they want to live well. They want to be healthy and strong. And to all you young women, I shared with my children, I think 2 or 3 years ago, my dying wish, and within minutes they're all on the phone to each other like, is mom been diagnosed? Is something wrong? Do I need to know? No, I just want to see it before I died, is for them to get strong and healthy. Would they join a gym? Would they take a look at what they're putting in their bodies and be strong? Because as you age, that becomes imperative for quality of life. But people want to live well and to be strong, and then they want to be better. And I think one of the things is, when we help other people become better people, we become better people ourselves. And I think that standing in service is one of the greatest things we can do. I go back, though, to my message of filling your own cup. It is okay, women of the world, to stop and take a breath. It is okay to push a deadline. It is okay to say, I'm going home, I'm taking a hot bath, and I'm going to do homework with my teenage children. It's okay to fill your cup, because we push so hard standing in service, whether it's professionally in our job, and so many healthcare professional women, doctors and nurses, and like Dr. R, our friend in common, that push so hard for quality of life for other people. It's really important for quality of life for me, for you.
Yeah.
And really defining that. And I think that comes with dreaming. Yes, I want to live. Yes, I want to live well. Yes, I want to live better. And one of the things is we dream, but do we dream blue sky and then just go, oh, that's such a great fantasy?
Right.
Or do you wake up and go, it's my 3rd show, I'm doing this. And this has been a dream of mine.
Yes.
And I've always wanted to be a talk show host, and you're a pretty good commentator, my friends say.
I'm so honored. And when you told me that, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, you're doing such a great job. And I think that's important for us to dream, and to write it down, and to journal. And so some of the things of the brutality of transformation are the habits.
Yes.
They are. It's what we put in our mouth. It's the rest. I don't have my Fitbit on today, it died, but Charlie is just militant about rest and sleep and what it does for the body. So I made a commitment to be in bed at least 3 nights by 10:30. That's so difficult to do.
Right.
I have so many things to do, and my mind is still moving. But I find myself jumping at bed, at 10:29 because I made a commitment to be in bed by 10:30. I still might have my books with me.
Right.
But to be in bed by 10:30, rest and food, and what you do for your mind, and massage, and go get the mani and pedi, and go get the massage.
It's so important, and it's and have the dinners with the girls.
Oh,
I have a group of girls, and they are incredible, and we just booked our trip to Jamaica. I know, so excited. We just booked, and we have so much joy, we have so much fun, and we've been friends now for years.
That's awesome.
One of the things, the book that I just finished reading, I'm getting ready to read again, is The Code of the Extraordinary Mind.
That's amazing.
That book has shifted me in such a way, and he, Bashin, who wrote the book, he is the founder of Mind Valley. And if you are really looking for something to take yourself on to that next level, that is a fantastic book, because it really had me stop. And he talks about your goals, but he talks about it as not like, I want to be in love with my husband forever, because it puts the responsibility on him. Right. Instead, I want love in my life. And it changes. So I think it's so important, and I think that's one of the things that I know that you do, that I do. We are constantly working on ourselves.
Always, every day. And that wasn't that way as a young woman. I would wait for the seminar, the webinar, the weekend event, or I would wait for that, oh, this is going to help me here. But I think every day working towards transformation, until we're gone, until we drop off the body and it's over.
I've decided, so what I do is I wake up in the morning and I do my 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. And I create that space, right? And then it says 3 to 5 things I'm grateful for with my job, which has been really powerful because it has me showing up differently in my job. And I love that. But what I think that I'm so excited about when I see this is that we really do create this life that we say that we want. But it's work. It does not just be like, I'm the thing.
It's not wishing.
Yeah.
It's work.
And it's very interesting. I was reading something. We know that Kobe Bryant and 8 other, his daughter, and those people passed away. But you know what I didn't know how empowering he was to do for others. And he was at an ESPN event, and he says, because he was retiring, and he goes, this is not the end for me. This is only the beginning, because I want to show others what they're capable of doing and having.
And he did.
And it inspired me so much that I think I always find people, and at my father's funeral, and I said, I want to honor him by honoring, like, living my life. And that's the thing about it. When I read what Kobe had did and so much, really honoring that and being in this space, because if I work hard and I do the work and I be this person, what difference is it going to make? You know, and I think that's what, when I read that, it really empowered me. And I think that's why I continue to do this, and that's why I will. I'm gonna watch. You're gonna see I Am This Woman all over the place. It's just gonna happen. It is global. It's gonna be I Am This Woman conference, I Am This Woman on the streets, I Am This Woman book, I Am This Woman. And you talk about a book, because I have my book. I have my idea. Goodness gracious. People will say, how's the book? Yeah. But stepping into this, and I like the who, you know, that's what it is. Yeah. So explain more about the who, because I think this is, for us, it's huge.
Absolutely. And we had the advantage of meeting Charlie Schwartz in person, and I do highly recommend Who Changes Everything is a Wall Street bestseller, and I recommend that you get it because it's a workbook, and you can absolutely find your who in this. And then he has an online community, which, you know, I'm looking forward to your online community too, girl, because this is where the magic sauce happens. But we all have different personas. You know, some people call them archetypes, some people call them masks we wear, but we truly have personas that keep us safe, that move us forward, that we stand back. The witness, Charlie calls it in the book, is the one who has no judgment, non-judgmental, just takes a look at what's going on and how it's going on with no judgment. I have a very low vibrating persona, as does everybody, and that's the one that goes, who do you think you are to do this?
And what's her name?
No, I don't share that anymore.
You don't? This is so awesome. That's good. So
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, because I don't ever want to evoke her. And now, instead of getting the ice cream and sitting down on the couch and wallowing, you know, in that role of the victim, sometimes that comes so easily in society, I use her as a beacon. You know, okay, what's going on? It's a warning light. I need to pay attention to something. I no longer get the ice cream and the spoon, but I need to pay attention, and I honor that. So as we honor that, I have a persona that when I'm in go mode, as my family, they're a little afraid of me. And that persona gets stuff done, like a warrior.
Yes.
I mean, just get stuff done. And I have a persona that I'm working on. I haven't named, Charlie encourages us to name them all. I haven't named her because I'm still dreaming her. And my confidence is absolutely off the charts, you know, and my faith. And that's one of the things with filling our cup that happens, you know, is I was listening to Ernest Holmes, one of his rare films in 1956. He wrote a book called Science of Mind, and he was a very Christ-based gentleman, so I enjoy the scriptures that are added into his little tidbits. I read his 365 almost every day. And he said, you know, we have no doubt whatsoever the sun is going to come up. We don't even doubt it.
Right,
There's
exactly.
no doubt. We believe the sun is going to come up every morning. Behind the clouds or not, it's coming up. We have faith every day that that's going to happen. It's a brand new day. A day is going to dawn, right?
Exactly.
We have faith that if we eat, he says, a ham sandwich, so in the 50s, ham must have been a really big thing. We eat the ham sandwich and drink the milk, our body's going to digest it. We didn't even question that stuff. And so he took the basic simplicity of life and belief and the faith that all that's going to function to a level that said, well, everything that I choose in my life, I can have belief behind. Because biblically it says, it shall be gifted as you believe.
Yes.
It shall be done unto you as you believe. And belief is where it all starts.
Right.
You know, you have to have action. Charlie's all about action and results. He doesn't really care, you know, about how we feel about the results.
No, he does not at all. No caring at all.
But he does care about about the results, because on the other side of what we do when we run towards that fear is freedom, is love, is vulnerability, is authenticity, is truth. And I think that when we put all of our personas together, we have this amazing person, to stand in service to God every day. So
I love that, and I think the who's are so super important, because I know my lowest persona. I mean, she keeps me safe.
I've met her.
You've met her, yes, and it's interesting now. She is. I think she kind of sits on the sidelines and watches. She's super proud, right? It's really interesting, and I honor her
because you've aligned. So that's now what we're working on is the alignment. My go-to warrior that gets stuff done now no longer conquers everything to make things happen. He is now aligned with my witness and my highest persona, and we work in tandem. What I said when we first started doing the Achievers Academy, I kind of feel like Sybil. Because
I felt like
so
Sybil big time, all these different things, right? Yeah.
However, when we're really truthful with ourselves, everyone does.
Right.
We honor in other people the who that they are as they're evolving, too, and support that. And it's an amazing process. I will use the rest of I'm 60 years old, however much more time I have, the who persona information to help other young women discover their inner strength, their inner voice, their inner belief, and blend it with the faith, that it all comes together.
So I know you dream big. I know this. So, and I know you have a really big dream.
I do.
And I think it's so important to share these things. So tell us about your dream.
Well, I do have a dream. I'm leading from the front for my family right now, and I'm going to dedicate another year to that. But we launched a foundation called See, Learn, Succeed. It is a vision therapy foundation for children who are at risk and underprivileged. Vision therapy is, in the eye care arena, is when kids come in and maybe they test 20/20, either corrected with glasses or without glasses, but they have been behavioral or diagnosed with something behavioral, and they're given a pharmaceutical and sent back to the classroom. Many times, there's merely a disconnect between their brain and their eyes. And the eyes lead the body in everything. So vision therapy is a non-surgical, non-invasive group of activities and procedures that help a child bring their brain and their eyes function back together. And it's all labor. And it's not covered by the Affordable Care Act. It's not covered by most insurances. And yet the results we have, Susan Whitcomb, who is our vision therapy tech, and she dreams this dream with me in a big way, tells stories all the time. One little girl crawled in the door and she said, "Hey, what are you doing down here?" And the little girl said, "It's just better down here." Walked out during graduation. Kids who can't ride bicycles or who can't play soccer, maybe they had a trauma and they fell up the stairs or down the stairs or off their bike. Anything can cause this. It could be from birth. Anything can cause a disconnect between the brain and the eyes. A TBI, a concussion, anything can cause a disconnect between the brain and the eyes. And children fall down a whole bunch.
They do.
And we see kids walk out with confidence, and she's been through gratitude, so she uses a little bit of that with the kids too.
Yeah.
But this foundation will fund vision therapy in a scholarship situation to educate teachers who are the first line of recognition for these children, and parents, and connect them with the resources they need to be assessed and to be diagnosed and treated with vision therapy. And we need a large amount of money to accomplish this. There are people in this industry across the country, and my goal is to collaborate them with See, Learn, Succeed, that they become a See, Learn, Succeed clinic, and we go into their market and raise money for their children in their market that are at risk and low income, that they can provide these services for the children who are so desperately needed. And thank you for asking me to share.
Of course. This is dreaming. This is so important and it's important to surround yourself with people that dream, because there's no way, if I'm telling you like we were talking before about how I see I am this woman and what I want to create, and she's always going to challenge me to go above and beyond. And it's important to have that. So there's a couple questions I always ask every guest, and I think it's just something before I do that, she put on the end of her email, she says, to declare I am this woman on every stage and at every stage. And I love that, and I thank you for that, because you inspire me And so when you wrote that, I just thought that was cute, so I wrote that down. So one of the things I always ask is that, how do you start your day?
I would like to say that I'm that person that has a rigid daily start and I'm in it every day. The last 2 days, because we're on the Atlantic and we were privileged enough to stay right on the beach, I rolled out of bed, threw clothes on with my hubby, and went and watched the sunrise. So there was no process.
Best start of the day ever.
Oh my gosh.
It's I love if I could be on the beach every morning, I would do
Even
that.
if I lived here, I'd drive to the beach every morning.
But there's certain times that I'll do, and I'll sit there and I'll listen to music or whatever, and I'll see the sunrise, and it is incredible. So, and that's the thing I think about. You probably have something that you start your day with.
I do.
But it's also flexible.
It's so flexible.
Right.
My husband is he does Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning. He has for like 5 years. And he is a schedule guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't deviate. He might do it in 15 minutes, he might have an hour to do it, but he does his routine. And mine varies from day to day, all depending on what the circumstances are. And what's going to happen in the day. I do have a crystal singing bowl that I like to fire up and listen to that deep D. It's a huge bowl. Sitting there also are my scriptures whenever I'm in, whether it's biblical or Torah or one of the Aramaic texts that they've translated, so that I love religious history. There's also my angel cards are there. I'll pull a card maybe sometimes for the day and ask a question.
Yeah.
Who am I? What's my purpose today? How can I stand in service? I do like to connect. At some point every day. When you hit the beach, the connection is just right there.
It's there.
You're
the sun, the water, the birds.
In Illinois with the trees and the snow. Yeah, tapping in takes a little bit longer sometimes. But like Barbara, I start my day with what I'm grateful for every day. And every morning is just a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I'd like to be that rigid person. I just am not.
I'm not. I start my day. I do the 3 to 5 things I'm grateful for. But sometimes it comes a little bit later. Sometimes a little bit earlier. I make sure to do that. But like I'm always admire people who are like, this is how I start my day. This is what I do. I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah, no, that's not me at all. So, what is the one thing you do to live your life with purpose?
Barbara, there are so many ways that I could answer that question.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to tell you, prayer is probably still my number one. And sometimes it's meditative, sometimes it's moving, prayer. Sometimes it's a prayer. I have an incredible prayer group for healthcare, the crisis. We pray for 10 days at a time. It is still standing in that quiet, in that gap, and listening to God.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. For me, I think that empowered women impact the world. And I said, an empowered woman impacts the world. She impacts her own world. She impacts her family, her community, and ultimately the entire world. So if you were to have a motto, your truth, your message that you would say, this is what I stand by, what is it?
Wow, that is a great question. I think based on the last year and a half, it would be stand in your truth, that ever-moving target every day, and feel the who that you are. Feel the who that you are, and be open to the opportunities that come to you. I have many mentor women. Condoleezza Rice is one of them, Madeleine Albright, Mother Teresa. So many women that we have examples for. And there's only 3. There's so many. There's so many. Oprah Winfrey. There's just so many women that we have as an example. And I think standing in that truth and feeling the who that you are, and really discovering that and letting her come out and revealing who she is, I think I'm going to spend some time first in my own family. I have some amazing kids. I have 5 grandkids. I shared that with you.
Yeah.
First in my own family, to let their little who's come out and feed those personas.
Yeah. And so I've had the opportunity to spend some time with your grandchildren and with some of your children, and you are. I truly believe that you have set the stage for that. And that's what's so beautiful about it. And I remember you sent a message, I think it was it was with your latest granddaughter, and you were there was an honoring ceremony or something.
Addison June. We welcomed her.
June. Gosh, I love that name.
We welcomed her to the circle of women in her family, because she has some powerful women in her family, and then we invited the men in our family, and we call it Framily, F-R-A-M-I-L-Y, because we have chosen we are Framily, we have chosen some people, so we have a pretty nice size family that we've chosen. Then we invited the men to stand up and whisper, handed her to her daddy, and they came up one by one and whispered their promise to her. Yeah, it takes my breath away every time I think about it. I have the most incredible children.
Oh my gosh, I love
this.
And afterward, once I turn this off, I'm going to tell you how I'm going to borrow that, because I think it's incredible. Well, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for sharing. Like we said, get the book. You know,
Who Changes Everything?
Who Changes Everything? Charles Schwartz. Absolutely fantastic. Go on his Instagram.
I am Charles Schwartz on Instagram.
Yes,
I am Charles Schwartz.
Yeah, and he's incredible. And if you're up to something, that's so important. And it's so important to surround yourself. I constantly say, surround yourself. If you're interested in being a guest on the show, reach out to me, Barbara, at IamThisWoman.com, or send me a message on Facebook.
You want to know this woman.
Yes.
This woman. And you want to know her now before she becomes really famous, so we can all go together to I Am This Woman Fest.
Yes, and there will be one. But I thank you. I thank you for coming out here and speaking your truth, and for honoring this space. And I thank you for who you are in my life. You know, I am so grateful, because I am so blessed to be surrounded, and I know that God put us together, because He's like,
we're gonna do stuff together.
Oh, I know we are. I have no doubt. But I always end it, and I always say, you know, say your name and I am this woman, and let people know, you know, I just think it's important to, I don't know, I love I am this woman. I love the statement when you say it.
I love
you know?
I am, and then this
I am
woman.
this
I
woman.
am so powerful.
It is.
My name is Melissa Kehoe. I am this woman.
And I am Barbara Hort, your founder and your host of I Am This Woman, and I can promise you I am this woman.
Yes.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you next Friday. Take care. Bye.